I was born and raised in Greenville, Alabama. It's a small town just south of Montgomery on 65, and it was a great community. It was a great community growing up. Loved it there. I grew up actually on a farm. All my aunts and uncles had farms, so being in a rural setting was something I was accustomed to. You know, getting to go out and play outside and things like that. And so, and it just the camaraderie, the team, the relationships you build in sports. You know, I mean, you make friendships and you have acquaintances that carry a lifetime, and I enjoyed that. And then the next thing is, I'm gonna be honest, you know, one thing that really drew me to sports is I like the competitiveness. People will find out I'm a competitive person. Almost to a fault at times. I'm definitely the guy that ain't necessarily wants to win as much as he hates to lose. And so that's for sure with me. And then that competitiveness I like because I get to go to a job and I get to be around sports that I still get butterflies. You ain't getting butterflies necessarily going to you're being a lawyer and working up this house contract to sell a house. But man, I get butterflies on that. It keeps me young, keeps me excited. And so that's really what draws me to sports is the camaraderie, the relationships, and all that. And then hometown, like I say, it was great. My mom and dad still live there. They're still there, right there in Greenville, and it's a beautiful place. My family, my little boy, and my girls, they love going down there so they can go fishing and ride horses, and so I've been blessed, no doubt. I'm married to Melissa Rogers. I am so blessed. We've been married now going on 5 years, and she's awesome. I can assure you, any success I have is because of her. She is so supportive, encouraging, and just allows me to chase a dream and follow a dream. And she loves sports. She played softball actually at ABAC, so right down here in this area. So she was an athlete, and she's the best athlete in the family. There's no doubt. And I tell her that all the time. She is awesome. We have 3 children. I have a 14-year-old little girl, Sarah Coleman, from a previous marriage, and then I have a 3-year-old little boy, Cooper, and I have a 9-week-old little girl, Janie Kate. And that's our Get Young plan. Everybody's got all these things on these info commercials about how we're gonna stay young. That's mine. I'm gonna be 40 years old and have a 3-year-old and 9-week-old to keep up with as we go. But they're awesome. Our family's awesome. Family's important to me. It is. I believe in that structure. You got to have that support system, and again, I love being around kids, obviously, in my profession. So obviously, it's just a blessing to have the family that I have, and I can't wait to get them down here. So it's kind of neat. I graduated from Troy State, so that's going to be kind of neat because I'm going back to Troy now for the spring game. But we graduated from Troy State, and in 2002, and I knew I wanted to be, a high school football coach. Like I knew that was important to get to coach. At the time I really loved basketball as well, and so I wanted to coach that as well. So the pay is just a little bit better. The structure and education is a little bit better in Georgia. My sister actually I have an older sister, and she was already in Georgia. In fact, she's a principal now, and so she encouraged me to, you may want to look at just starting your career off in Georgia. So we came to Georgia in 2002 and started at Harris County High School. And it was a complete rebuild. It was a program that wasn't very good. It was a brand new staff. I was another coach of 8 coaches coming in on the staff as an assistant. I worked with the wide receivers and the special teams off that first year, and I was an assistant on the basketball team. Harris is a great community. We had great support, and I stayed there for 8 years. I worked my way up all the way to quarterbacks, and also worked my way up to the head boys basketball coach, if you can believe it. I was the head boys basketball coach there for a couple of years and really enjoyed it, but it just wasn't football. And football is really what ignited me and encouraged me to go to work. It's just the passion and the fun. I tell people still to this day, I've never worked a day in my life because of what I get to do. And so I did that. We had a good run. We started making the playoffs consistently there. It was something they'd never done there. And I had the opportunity to go to Griffin to be the OC there at Griffin and coach quarterbacks. And so in 2010, we left and went to Griffin. Griffin is a very tradition-rich program, a lot of success, a lot of former NFL players and college players there. And so it was a great honor to work there, and I worked under Coach Steve Dvorsky, and I thank him so much for believing in me and giving me an opportunity. And so we go there, and I actually was the head boys basketball coach there for 1 year, but that was an interesting story, but it was a fun year doing that. But that's where we went in there, and I kind of cut my teeth on the spread offense. When we were at Harris, we were triple option, and so I had a triple option background. But I tell people all the time, it really helped me for what we do offensively now, because we're just reading defenders, we're just changing who we're reading now. Instead of pitching it, we're throwing it. And so it kind of helped us develop this RPO offense that we run and the high pace that we go at. My years at Griffin helped me understand the importance of building relations. Those Griffin kids, they needed someone to be in their life. They needed someone to be in their life and understand that they needed someone to care for them more than just football and see them as a person and not just a commodity. And so that's where I really started working more on the character stuff and the culture stuff that we do, that I continue to do it everywhere I've been, because it was so important. And don't get me wrong, we had good players. We had really good players. I think we did a good job offensively and defensively. But when we finally won the state title in 2013 and set all kinds of scoring records, I believe the way we treated those boys and the way we loved them mattered. And I believe they were able to rally together and come together for a common goal, and was able to get over that hurdle. Griffin had been close for years and years of winning the title, and I really believe that relationship factor was one of the missing pieces that they needed. So we win the title in 2013, and that's when I had an opportunity at Jones County to be the head coach. You know, you always got to find that one guy to believe in you and give you a shot. You know, everyone turns you down because you ain't had head coaching experience. And I'm very thankful for the community of Jones and the superintendent at the time to believe in me, to give me that opportunity. And so I took the job there in 13. And again, a program that didn't have a lot of success. It was a baseball school. If they made the playoffs, that was a good year. You know, and we wanted to change that. They were a program that hoped that they won on Friday night, and we need to move it to expect to win on Friday night. And so we went in there again, started loving on them, teaching them how to work, how to do things properly. I had to catch them up a little bit because they didn't understand filming practices and meetings and things like that, and how to run it like a college program. And so we did that. We had a lot of success for a community that never had success. I was one win shy of being the winningest coach in the history of the school. So, but the guy that is the winningest coach, Bubba Williams, is a great man that still works there in that community. And I think deep down inside, I think I'm kind of glad he got to keep it, because he's a good person. And so had a lot of success there, built a lot of relations, but then had an opportunity to come here. And coming here, it is an awesome opportunity. I'm humbled to be able to have it. I thank the administration for believing in me in here to come here. You got a place that's been set up. Man, you guys been doing things right. You got the organization structured, and structure drives function. And so we want to continue that structure. We want to continue doing a lot of the things that we're doing in the way that we're doing. We just want to add a little bit of me in, and I got to be me. And so we want to add the relationship factor. We want to talk about love, and we want to talk about caring. We have our core values of being, our passion, our enthusiasm. All right, we have our core value of competing in competition, the core value of toughness. But in toughness, we got to talk about being mentally tough, not always just physically tough. Being able to understand our choices matter. And then family. Family's got to be important. It's got to be forget about me, I love you. And we got to define love. Love equals sacrifice. When you sacrifice for someone you love, and then obviously we got to be disciplined. If we want to get anywhere in life and ultimate success, you got to be able to discipline yourself to do the things necessary for that. And so I look forward to instilling those values that I think are important, that I would instill with my 3 kids, and I look forward to instilling those in those 200 kids here. I loved where I was at. I really did. The people there, my players, they were great. But Colquitt had it all. You had the community that I want to raise a family. That's where I was born at. I was born in a small rural town. This is much bigger than my small rural town, but it's still a rural town where family values and how you treat people matter. That's where I want my kids to be raised. You had a football team and a community where it's important. Football's important. The people we want to be Packers. We're growing up and we're starting school in kindergarten and first grade and second grade, and we're dreaming of coming in the hog pen and being a Packer. And I wanted to be at a place where that's important, where you have a tradition, you have a culture, all right, that's in there. And so that's so important, and a place where made it important. So obviously you can look at the facilities, it's important. And so you've got a place to raise a family. You've got a place where they got pride. They want to be a Packer. And the administration know it's important to put the resources in it. I mean, you're a perfect storm. And so when given this opportunity, it wasn't no hesitation, you know. And I've always been a guy that I'm not one to run away from the fire. I'm one to run into the fire. I'm not going to shy away from that. And so when an opportunity like this arose, you take it, you take the ball and run. Our number one goal is to raise good husbands and fathers. And it's really true. I've never had a kid come back to me at 22 and 23 years old and say, Coach, man, I'm telling you, I appreciate the way you taught me inside zone. Coach, I appreciate the way you taught me that post route. But I couldn't tell you how many come back to see me at 22, 23. I had a ton text me when I got this job. Man, I love you, Coach. Proud of you. I've had a ton tell me, man, Coach, man, I still remember all the things you taught me on how to be a man and chase a dream. And that's important, the relationships that we build and we raise them. Because it takes a village to raise a man. And that's what we're trying to reach. And that's what our country and our society needs. We need more men that are willing to be bold and be leaders. And so we have to invest in that. That has to be taught. All right, that's not a one-time pep talk. I tell people all the time, raising men is a daily fist fight. You got to go in there every day. You know, no different than raising my own and investing in them. So getting into them, obviously, and raising them to be better people and better men, it's got to be one of the biggest things important. Now, don't let me confuse you. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're going to tweak here, but we ain't tweaking winning. All right, we want to keep that going. All right, we're going to keep that tradition going. So winning's important. So we're going to teach them football. We're going to make them better football players. We're going to work in this weight room and make sure that we're moving better. Our motor movements are good. Our explosion is good. Our flexibility is good, because that ultimately determines our play, right? How our body is made. And then when we get out there and practice, we got to teach them the technique and fundamentals, as well as the scheme and the decision making that goes along with football. So football is important, but if you don't have the man and you don't do the things to create him, to make him a better man and understand his ownership of his own life, then there's no way we can maximize ability and be absolutely as good as we can be. It's a two-way thing that we have to add, both our performance character and our moral character, and combine them too with the process to be good. And it's something we talk about all the time. And our goal of our football team is to maximize ability, to be absolutely as good as we can be individually and collectively. And these boys can tell you that. They can tell you that right now, because we talked about it for about an hour yesterday. They understand that's our goal. And that should be our goal in life. I'm 40 years old. Guess what my goal is? Be the best I can be. Treat people with respect and have a passion for what I do. The goal don't change whether I'm 15 years old or 40. And so we want to equip those guys with that. We want to get speed and space. We want to make sure that the defense is defending 53 1/3, all the way sideline to sideline, and vertical. We want to defend deep shots. We've got to put a lot of stress on the defense to defend every inch of grass on that field on any given moment. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to attack all areas of the field, and we're going to do it at a 2-minute pace all night long. All right, we want to continue to come at you and be relentless in our efforts. I'm a little bit of a high energy guy, you know, and I get excited. So obviously our style of play will reflect that. All right, our style of play is going to be an aggressive attacking offense. Now on defense, all right, we're going to be the same way. We're going to try to apply pressure to the offense. All right, we're not going to defend what you do. We're going to attack you and make you change. But at the same time, we got to be sound in what we do to not give up the explosive plays. That's the big deal. If you're going to score a touchdown on us, you're going to do it in 12 plays, 13 plays, and see if you're disciplined enough to do it. Make sure we're not getting 1 or 2 plays. All right, they can't give up the big chunk yardage. All right, that's the most important thing. So we want to attack, be aggressive, bring pressures, while still maintaining our structural integrity of our defense to make sure we get it to the ground on anything else. Make them earn what they get. And in special teams, we're looking to steal a possession. We want to try to look for opportunities where we can steal a possession, all right, and get one back for our offense. And if those opportunities don't arise themselves in the return game, we want to win that hidden yardage battle. We want to be able to pick up a first down or 2 in our return game. They punt the ball, let's get the first down in the return. Let's make sure we're being schematically sound there that we can win that, because there's a lot of hidden yardage. And when you play 2 good football teams, that matters. And then we want to be disciplined. All right, the best way for the Packers to win is for the Packers don't beat Packers. Don't beat yourself. All right, we can't have self-inflicted penalties. We understand a holding penalty, all right, could happen. You know, occasional face mask may happen. Those are effort penalties. But we can't have the offsides, the illegal formation, the false start. You know, that's self-inflicted. And the Packers can't beat the Packers. And so that's a little bit of my beliefs in football. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun and an exciting brand to watch. The biggest thing I'd say to the fan base right now is now we have a direction. Man, it's been a rough couple of months here in this community, and it's been an even rougher couple of months for these boys. They're good kids. I've already met them. God, they're great. And so now we have a direction. We have a way to move. Now, I told the boys this earlier. Everybody in this state would love to see this thing crumble. There ain't no one in this state that would love more. Everybody would love to see it. Lowndes, Valdosta, Atlanta, Grayson, to see this thing come down. The people that want this thing to continue to improve and continue to succeed is right here in Colquitt County, in Moultrie. This community is the one, is the only one that's pulling for this thing to continue to stay at the national level that we are. And so now that we have a direction, my challenge to you, get on board. We'll add as many seats to the bandwagon as we need. But these boys need support of this community. This coaching staff needs support of this community in this transition. And with that support and that pride and that tradition that's already instilled, you're going to see we're going to continue to rise to dominance. And the rest of the state of Georgia just might as well get ready. It's going to be a fun ride.